Hello, welcome back. This week I'm hoping to get a little bit of redemption by revisiting the hairspray hack. Okay, a little while back I tried the hairspray hack by using remoldable clay to make a mould of this turtle. Now I'm going to actually make a proper silicone mould of this turtle and we'll try the hack again. So I've painted the shell part of the turtle with a gloss acrylic varnish, because you can see it's really shiny. Thing I need to do, I have just it's just I think it was a cream pot, and I've just cut it down, and I'm checking that the turtle will fit in the middle, and he does, and there is a space all the way around, but it's not too big of a space. Don't really want to use any more silicone than I have to. So now I need to stick my turtle down to the bottom, and I could either use hot glue or I can use double-sided tape. I think I'm going to try the double-sided tape for now. I'm just going to take at least one glove off, find some tape, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick him into the bottom. Got some tape. Okay, I'm going to fold that in half. And I can peel back part of the tape. Stick it on the bottom. And then place him in the middle. Just make sure that there is space around the back of the tail and his head, and then push him in. Okay, he seems to be in there pretty firmly. So the next step will be to mix up my silicone. This is the silicone I'm using. It's got my light on. Pop a light on. There you go. It's, I don't know how you pronounce it, BBDino Platinum Silicone 20A, and I have the part B and the part A. It is 1:1. It says on the packet that it is actually a food grade, so I don't know how much I'm going to need for that, so I'm just going to have to estimate. I could fill it with some water. I actually have a similar pot, so what I might do is fill this with water just to the top of the turtle. Fill this one with water just to the top of the turtle. Now obviously the turtle is going to displace some of the water, which means that should give me my extra to overfill it. So let me just go find some water, and we'll see if we can work out how much we need to mix up. I'm just going to, I can see the packaging, so I can see the barcode on both sides. That barcode is definitely much taller than the turtle. So I'll fill to that line. And then I'm going to measure how much that is. So I'm just going to get my scales. Make sure they are on grams, and or you could choose millimeters. No, I've only got ounces and grams. That's fine. Grams is the same as milliliters. So let me just get another pot to put it in. Pop that on there. 0. Right. So now I'm just going to tip that water into there. 76. That's not bad, is it? So that's 76 milliliters that I will need. And if it's 1 to 1, you're going to have to halve it. So that's 38 milliliters of each part. All right, so if I need 38 milliliters, I have a cup here, just a silicone beaker that has a measurement for 40. So I'll do that. That just gives me a little bit of leeway. And I'm going to have to wear a respirator. So I'm going to get myself kitted up, and then I'm just going to go ahead and measure out my parts and mix them. So I poured part A into one beaker, and it was quite runny. It's much like resin. And I had a bit of a struggle trying to get the packaging off of part B, but I managed eventually. I poured that into a separate beaker, and then I just mixed them exactly like resin. It's the same principle. So I decanted them into another pot, made sure I scraped it out. Now this produces a clear resin. You can put a pigment in it, just use a mica powder, but I decided to keep it clear in case I ever want to use it for UV resin. And I think I mentioned already that this is a food grade resin. So obviously, as long as you, food grade silicone. So as long as you never use it for anything but that, you should be fine. So once I had them both scraped in to my pot, I mixed as I would normally mix a resin. And it was quite good. It didn't produce too many bubbles. This is speeded up, so I wasn't mixing this as fast as this looks. And as I say, it didn't produce too many bubbles, but the bubbles that were in there degassed very easily. So I'm scraping off my stick again, make sure that I've got all of the silicone in there. And then I'm pouring from a height down on top of the turtle, and then all around. Make sure that the resin flows and fills in all of the gaps. And pouring it from a height helps to eliminate the bubbles. So I just kept pouring. It's very difficult to see because it is quite clear how deep it is above the turtle. But I kind of thought that there might be a little bit too much, more than I needed, shall I say. So I actually did tip some back out into my pot. And then re-poured it just to make sure that the turtle was covered, but not so much that I was actually wasting some of the silicone. I went on to use this to make another tiny little mould. So once I was happy with that, I'm going to leave it to set. And that takes, well, this one took about 6 to 7 hours, but I left it a full 24. Okay, so this is completely set now, and I'm just going to see if I can try and get it out of the plastic tub.
I didn't really want to cut the tub so that I could use it again, but I couldn't get it out, so I had to cut it. And I was hoping to just tear it, but it really didn't want to, so I had quite a struggle trying to get this out. I had to keep cutting it, but I got it out at last.
Great. So I've got it out, and I think I've got some underpour, which is disappointing. If I can just get the turtle out, I can cut the excess off. There we go. So I can see the bit that sort of flowed over the top of the tape. So I'll just trim that away. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to do the hairspray hack with this. Okay, so I've got my mould, and I'm going to use some charcoal grey, can you please focus? Charcoal grey Arteza mica powder, and I'm going to paint that. Just get a little brush. I'm going to paint that in the head. I used a kind of bronzy brown colour last time, but I think I'm going to go with this colour for now. See if I can paint that in the head. Does that fit in there? Maybe need a smaller brush. Oh, I've just got a paintbrush now. I'm just going to paint the head and the flippers and the tail in the grey. Okay, that's cleaned up a bit now. I'm going to take the hairspray and I'm going to try and make it blobby. I'm starting off the mould so that I can get the right pressure and get some splats. Okay, I think that'll be enough. It's only a small mould. And I can see them in there, so hopefully you can too. So that's got to sit now and dry, and then I can come back and put the seafoam green mica powder in. Okay, so the hairspray is dry now, and I'm just going to take the seafoam green Arteza mica and get a bit on my brush. And I'm going to paint the inside of the shell. You can definitely see the spots where the mica is not sticking to the hairspray. Okay, that looks like a much better coverage than I got with the other mould. Right, so I'm wondering, Do I pour some clear in and then back it with the gold? Or do I just pour the gold? I might try that. I'm going to put a layer of clear first, and then I will put some gold in afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my resin. Okay, I've got my resin mixed up, so I'm just going to pour my layer. I'll let it get into the head as well. It will come back out. But... Okay, I'm going to leave that. Bubble. Leave that to the side. Hopefully it will pop. So I'm going to leave that to set, and then I'll come back in and I will put a gold coat on. This is partially cured now. I've decided to dust the surface with this gold mica. I'm just gently brushing the powder over the surface. I'm going to leave that to continue to cure before I put my next coat of resin. I decided to tint my resin using a titanium dioxide white pigment that I had mixed up myself. So I just put a very small amount in just to make it opaque, mixed it thoroughly, and then was checking to see whether the head had actually poured completely, which it had. So I topped it off and then just used a little micro brush stick just to poke it into the tail. So it's completely set now. I'm just going to try and remove it from my mould. Okay, did I get the effect I want? I did, but again, it's not. This seafoam green is not very thick. It's not that solid. But there is some effect there. So it's probably the mica choice rather than the technique. I decided to have another go using golden chameleon powder, which I popped into the head and the flippers and the tail. And then I cleaned it up just using a cotton bud and some alcohol. Just removed all of the excess mica. Then I sprayed the hairspray and then left it to dry. I'm going to use some of this teal chameleon powder. Hope that this one is stronger in colour and gives me more coverage. So, painting the shell in exactly the same way as I did before. So now I'm going to mix up my resin and I will put that in, but you can see that we've got the speckles in there. Because I used a gold mica to fill in the head and the flippers, I decided not to put a gold mica into the resin. So I coloured it with a black alcohol ink and a little bit of black mica from Arteza. And then I completely filled the mould. I tip it to the side just to fill the head first, and then topped it off. Using the stick again just to make sure that there are no bubbles hidden in the tail and that the resin gets into all the little nooks and crannies. This is ready to demold now. Let's see if I can get it out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I think we can say that mica matters. The type of mica that you use matters. The other one was almost ethereal, a transparent one, and therefore it didn't really give me the effect that I wanted. The chameleon powder, however, yeah, I'm really pleased with that result. I like this turtle, but it's very pale. You can see the spots, but it's not that clear. This one, you can see the spots definitely, and I would like to try it again using a gold underneath. Thanks for watching my channel, and I hope you come back again. Bye.